Hello everyone! Today we're making a vegan chicken cutlet and then we're going to make that into a sandwich, and this is a no seitan recipe. It's pretty easy to make, so let's get into it. You're going to start by taking half a block of tempeh, pop that into your pan, cover it with about a quarter cup of water, just enough to get some steam action going. Steam that for 10 minutes. Then in the meantime we're going to prepare our egg replacer. This is the one from Bob's Red Mill. It's like mostly potato starch based, so you're just going to mix it with some water and just set it to the side to let it thicken up. You could use really any egg replacer that you like, and if you want to use a flax or chia egg, you could. It just may change the texture. So after I steam the tempeh, I'm going to add it into my food processor. I'm also going to add in chickpeas from a can because we're going to need that aquafaba later on, so save that. And then we have some seasonings. So we got nutritional yeast, salt, garlic powder, and onion powder. As you can see, the vegan egg is all nice and thickened up now. That's what we were going for. So I'm going to pop that as well into the food processor. You could also do this in a blender. And I'm just going to pulse this up until everything is really broken down nicely. And I'm just going to maybe need to scrape the sides a few times. Don't worry if you have to do that. You could crumble the tempeh up ahead of time if you wanted to, but I just kind of threw it in there and let the machine do its job. And I kind of test it by holding it and making it into a little ball or patty, and once I can see that it really sticks to itself, I know we're pretty much good. And the mixture kind of looks like this, so that's what we're going for here. So you can see like it's really sticking to itself, you know, that's what we're looking for. That's what we want. So I'm going to divide this into four pieces, four sections, and if you want to make more cutlets you can. So I wouldn't go make more than 6 cutlets from this because then they'll be kind of small. Keep some water nearby because you'll probably want to wet your hands in the process if it gets feeling like it's a little sticky. So I'm going to form it into a patty shape, and I like to make them pretty thin, so I'm trying to make them basically as thin as I can without them breaking, something like this. And I'm just going to pop this on my baking sheet while I make the other ones, and they'll look something like this. So now we have our breadcrumbs, and we're going to add in our seasonings. So this is going to be garlic powder, onion powder, paprika, black pepper, and salt. Mix it together. We also have some all-purpose flour, and there is our chickpea brine, our aquafaba. So we're going to take our cutlet and we're going to place it into the flour. Now you'll see on this one that I learned a few things. This is my first time. So I placed it in the flour and it was looking good, but it was definitely a little heavy. As soon as I placed it in the aquafaba and tried to flip it, it started to break. So a few things. One is work quickly, and the next is to use a spatula. So I just kind of like let it divide itself into two, and I just coated it in the breadcrumbs. Like, it's fine. It's not a big deal. If it breaks, you can just do that. So you'll see as I'm doing it this time, I'm going to really use the help of the spatula to support the cutlet because it definitely needs some help. So just keep something nearby to like really get underneath it, and also just work quickly because it makes a difference. It felt like the longer I let it sit in the aquafaba, the more it was falling apart. So just something to keep in mind when making this recipe. And if they do break apart, it's not that big of a deal. You can like just make smaller ones, so don't freak out if it breaks apart. But as you can see, I'm really using that spatula here to aid me now, and it did make a big difference. And if you don't use a can of chickpeas, you can always use non-dairy milk as a liquid instead of aquafaba, and you can always replace the flour with cornstarch if you need to be gluten-free and use gluten-free breadcrumbs. Okay, so once we got everybody coated, I am going to bake these because frying them is annoying. If you want to fry them, you can, but I would suggest freezing them before frying them. So I'm going to add a generous spray of spray oil, and I'm going to pop these in the oven at 400 for 20 minutes. They will come out looking beautiful, golden, crispy. I always add another little extra hit of spray oil just so like if any parts of it look dry, they don't look dry, they look nice and crisp. And that's it. Your chicken cutlets are done. So now we're going to make a sandwich, because when I was growing up, whenever we had chicken cutlets for dinner, the next day was always a sandwich, and this was how it was made. It's so simple. You literally need 2 slices of white bread. Okay, white bread for this recipe. Make it with the white bread. I know it's not the best, but just use it. And then we're going to add in vegan mayo. I'm going to put the chicken cutlet on, add a little salt if you like, iceberg lettuce, and that is it. Okay, easiest sandwich. This was what I grew up like bringing for lunch. It was always the best when you had chicken cutlets for dinner the night before, because you got to bring this sandwich for lunch the next day. And this one hit me in all the feels. So good, so delicious. I hope you guys try it out. I hope you like this version of a chicken cutlet, a vegan chicken cutlet without seitan. And as always, the full written out recipes on my blog, and all the ingredients are written in the description box down below. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for being here, and I'll see you next week with another video. Bye.